I've been thoughtin' and boughtin' since I was a young little thing, okay? Oh my god, it was the most intense thing that ever happened to me. My life is a chaotic madness. Chaotic madness.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chaotic Madness. It's your girl, Sasha Raee here, back at it again with another episode. And today, we have my newfound friend. I feel like I call you a friend now. I mean, we've had some conversations we'll get into. But this is Alex, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Alex, kind of say hello.
My name is Alex. Some of you might know me as A-Dubs, but yeah.
So it is A-Dubs?
It is. It's
okay.
It was
I'm so ghetto.
Yeah, it's a little ghetto. It's a little.
I thought it was I-Dubs. Like
A-Dubs, like A-Dubs.
Okay.
I got that nickname in high school, and I kind of went away from it just because it's like my initials, and so it's like A-Dubs. So. You know.
Okay, I get it. I'm so ghetto. I'm like,
I
know I'm good.
People tried to pronounce my name. Like, I won something on Twitter, and the guy completely annihilated it, and like in a video too. And I was just like, oh, I mean, you didn't have to say it like 10 times, like at all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well. That's funny. I don't care what you say. I'm going to still say I because I'm ghetto. Gang. But go ahead and kind of tell everyone what you do, who you are.
Oh my God.
For those that don't know.
I feel like I'm just, like I did a podcast earlier this week and I started listing off everything that I do. And I just came to the conclusion that I'm just a Renaissance woman and I'm a Jill of all trades, but a master of like maybe one. That would be definitely sex work. So I'm a sex worker. I've been in the industry for, oh my gosh, like 10 years. Woo!
And you still look 18, baby. Yeah, okay, actually, no. That's 21. You look 21.
When I was 19, I started. So I guess 11 years. I don't know. I can't really, math is really hard for me. And no, that's not a stereotype of sex workers. I just, me and numbers just don't get along. So I've been working in the industry. I started off working for an alternative company and I took a little hiatus from mainstream porn and now I'm back, but I do OnlyFans work, I cam, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And
so you did mainstream porn?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I worked for a company called Burning Angel. Shout out to my
Joanna.
Friend, Joanna Angel. I love her so much. She is amazing. And it was just kind of like, I started doing that because I got turned down for Suicide Girls.
Wait, okay, no shade.
Yeah.
But like, I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade. What?
Yeah. So, and it's really funny. Like, I wish I could get into that email. I don't use that email account anymore, but I wish I could because no one believes me when I say that. Like, I sent them my submission. I sent them pictures and everything. And I mean, I was tattooed. Like I started getting tattooed when I was 14 and I knew I was like, I'm so comfortable in my body. I love my sexuality. Like, I'm so open. I love being naked. Like, I just want to be a hot tattooed model, like who shows her tits sometimes. Like how liberating is that? And so I applied to be a Suicide Girl and they sent me back an email a week later. And they pretty much just said, sorry, you're not what we're looking for. Thanks for the submission. Good luck. And I was devastated. And so I didn't want to give up. I was like, you know what? That's kind of fucked. Like, you guys are supposed to be inclusive. But then at the time, no offense, like no shade. They didn't really have a ton of like black alt.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have a ton of
still don't. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Curvy models. They were all like skinny and white or white passing. And with a certain style of tattoos. And yeah, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Who else can I work for? And Burning Angel popped up. And I was like, actually, this is way more badass. I don't have to do videos if I don't want to. If I do, it's all solo. And I was like, let me try it out. And someone got back to me and they loved my look. And then, yeah, they flew me out to LA and that's how it started.
Wow. I mean, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason, even if you don't understand it like at that moment.
Yeah.
But I'm just still shook because I know some girls personally that I was surprised that they were like a suicide model, because I'm like, oh, I thought suicide, like had like a certain image. So for them to like not say you weren't what they were looking for, it's like, wait, what? Like, you're literally, for those that are listening, like, she's tatted, like banging body, like beautiful melanated biracial queen. So it's kind of like, what? But
yeah, right? Yeah,
you're right though.
It was so weird. It kind of fucked with me for a while. I'm not gonna lie, like, not like, oh, I feel so like but it really fucked with me because I was like, man, like, I feel like I have a really unique look, and I was too short. I'm too short to do fashion runway modeling, which was like, that was kind of my dream, was to be an actual model, not a sex worker model. And because I know I have a unique look and my body and everything, and I was like, okay, well, maybe this would be like a good way into it. And, obviously like that never happens. Once you go nude, no one really wants you high fashion wise. And, yeah, I couldn't do fashion runway. I couldn't model clothes at the times, and I had tattoos. And so I knew no one would hire me. So I was like, okay, what's the next best thing that I could do? And I was like, awesome, alternative modeling. So I was looking for companies that were looking for, people who looked like me. And I was like, wait, am I not alt? Like, it was just like, because that was my whole identity. I'm like,
right.
Like, love metal, like fucking tattoos. I'm such a fucking rebel. I'm just like so sick, bro. And yeah, no, I was just like, am I a poser?
With like 100 tattoos later, like, am I a poser?
Yeah, I was like, was I not fucking alt? I was seen. I literally had the bang and everything through high school. Like, my whole identity came crashing down when they told me no. But thank God for Joanna. Joanna saw the potential and it was great. And then 2 weeks later, I had her thumb in my ass. So it was like amazing.
I wish I could say the same, but a girl can dream.
It can definitely be a reality. You just gotta reach
it. Do you feel like if they would have said yes and accepted you, that you would still like be as involved of a sex worker as you are now? Or do you think you might have gone like a different path?
Seeing how some of the past suicide models, like I have a couple friends who were suicide girls, seeing how they live their life now, no. I think that I would have just been like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, the modeling thing isn't for me, just because of like, no shade, no offense. When I'm about to talk about your process of submissions and whatever. Sorry, suicide girls. The way that they post submissions and they take on photo shoots and they kind of pick and choose who they want to be is kind of ridiculous. So it doesn't really allow everyone who's on that site a chance to really exhibit themselves and be seen. And it takes so long. You could submit a photo shoot and you never know if it's going to get picked. It takes so long to get your fucking photo shoot uploaded to the page, let alone like if they're actually going to pick it. So I've watched a couple of my girlfriends kind of struggle with that. And no, I definitely don't think. I think my life would be a lot more boring if I did not go the route of Burning Angel, in which I'm like really happy for sure. My life is so interesting now. I definitely wouldn't be the same person.
That's interesting to hear that, because I feel like in our industry, especially, we all kind of have found sex work in our own unique ways. And I always looked at suicide girls, no shade to the company or any models that have been on it, but it's kind of like, I look at them as like the IG models that have OnlyFans, where I'm like, you want the perks and you want the the praise and like the money and the artistic creativity of it, but you don't want the stigma that necessarily comes with it, because it's like you pick and choose, like, oh, I'm not a sex worker or I'm not in the sex industry, but I post nude.
Yeah, I post nude.
Right.
You know, and I just want to like touch on that. And that's just like aside from even just suicide girls, is like, I need everybody who's listening to this and understanding this, that if you are posting nude for some type of excitement other than artistic, like, exhibitionism, and people are paying for it, you are providing a service that sexually excites the other person. Therefore, you are a sex worker. There's levels to it. You can be full service, or you can be on the lower end where you post erotic pictures and videos that maybe only include yourself, but it is sex work. It is sex work. If you're doing OnlyFans and you're showing pussy, it's fucking sex work. You're getting paid for it. It's fucking sex work. Unless you are in a gallery somewhere and you're naked and you're whatever. Like, that's the line for me. And there is no blurring of it when it comes to art and expression, and then actually being a sex worker and capitalizing off of it.
So, and that includes feet, balloons, all type of fetishes. Like, you don't have to just show your titties to be in sex work.
You do not have to, exactly. You actually, you do not have to show yourself or fuck to be a sex worker. If you are providing someone with excitement and sexual gratification for their fetish, even if it's closed, you're a sex worker. I know doms, I know pro doms that never get naked and they identify as sex workers.
Yep.
I
think it's important. And I mentioned that because I feel like, especially in 2022, with like amidst the pandemic and everyone was hopping on OnlyFans and like all of a sudden, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I get it was a trendy thing to do, but sex work isn't trendy. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it, and it bothers me because it's like, don't want to do my profession, but don't want to take the stigma that comes along with it, because you're getting paid X amount of money, but you're getting paid for doing something for, like,
right.
I can go into a whole rant on that.
Well, what happened is the social media got a hold of it.
Yep.
And
celebrities.
Yes. And celebrities. And social media doesn't understand that, just how turbulent that water is when you start talking about sex work in like a public setting, because now you've got the Shade Room, now you've got CNN, now you've got Netflix, now you've got all of these big conglomerates talking about something that's so taboo. You've got OnlyFans sponsoring athletes, and it's just, we're doing baking shows. Like, it's just such like a melting pot now, that when it first got introduced, and the realization that it's actually been run by sex workers. Like, there are a ton of people. I have a girlfriend, shout out to Baby Mama Fit. I feel like I always shout her out on my podcast. That woman has made a fucking killing off of OnlyFans and her workouts. And she's a hot tattooed model. And she doesn't get naked. And she fucking runs that shit. And she makes it work for herself. And she also acknowledges the backbone on which it was made. And so a lot of people don't recognize that. And what happened with the social media overtake of OnlyFans, it invited a lot of people in who have their own negative, closed-minded opinions about sex work. And it became this thing where it's like, oh, you do OnlyFans? Oh, you must be hurting for money. Or, oh, because it started during a time, an uptick, when people lost their fucking jobs.
Yep.
And then it became like a mockery, which is crazy, because I know some women, strip clubs were closed, and a lot of people would resort to stripping where you could be anonymous. You could put on the wig and dress up and not be yourself and still feel comfortable going to make money under the guise of your name and being and personality and persona not being attached to that dancer. And then now with the OnlyFans, it's kind of no real way to be anonymous with it, unless obviously like you strictly don't show your face. So, then it became a mockery of people who needed that income. And then
100%.
there became a melting pot of, well, I've been doing OnlyFans for 2 years. This is my job. And you're making fun of me because I'm getting my bag and you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself. So instead of internalizing that and working on yourself, you choose to externalize that and put your hate on me. That's weird. But again, social media invites weirdos into the conversation where no one even ever asks them to show up.
I agree. I think it's funny. Social media is, I believe it's a positive and a negative. The positives of having social media is that you're able to reach literally the entire world.
Yes.
At the palm of your hands, and a lot of things wouldn't have overturned or changed or be seen or heard if it wasn't for social media.
100.
But on the contrary, it's like everybody and their fucking mama has an opinion, which yes, we are entitled to our opinions, our thoughts, but people have opinions on things that they're hypocrites about. It's like you'll talk shit about an OnlyFans model. I used to work in banking. I won't say what bank it was, but it was very international, well-known bank. And the amount of OnlyFans transactions that I would see from people on a daily basis, I would try to lie, like, oh, I don't know what this is. I'm like, boy, bye. Or like, girl, anyways. And it'd be funny because I'm sitting here on the phone like, can I slide you my link on the low?
Like, let me.
Oh, right. Right. But it'd be those same people that like will publicly talk shit like, oh, I can never be with an OnlyFans model or this, like they're hoes or sluts, they have no morals. But then yet your whole bank account is full of subscriptions. So it's like, why front about something that everyone consumes and everyone, or at least is interested and curious about?
And then
if you're going to talk about it, don't support it.
Once they get
that's the problem.
Yeah, once they get past that initial, and it's always funny that way. Once they get past the initial, like, oh, they do OnlyFans, or oh, you do OnlyFans, that's like judgment. And then I'm like, yeah. And then
but now it's like a trend.
I always say, what is it like? How much money do you make? Like now you're curious, like, okay,
can I join? Can you help me out? Like,
right. And now, and I just, I always tell myself, and I always tell everybody, if I didn't have myself as a business, I wouldn't have social media, or I wouldn't post the things that I post, because it's not my thing. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful for social media because it's allowed me, like, just looking at my analytics, I'm like, bro, like, I reach people in the UK. I reach people in Egypt. I reach people in Mexico and Chile and like all of these places and France. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I could never imagine, like, the thought of people having a conversation or someone turning their phone and it's me on the screen and they're in a different country is such a grand idea to me. And I'm really grateful for it. So as much as I dislike what social media has made our generation and our culture, I'm really grateful for the moments that it's worked for me and for all of the opportunities that it will continuously create for me and my name and my brand to be brought up in settings where if I didn't have it, no one would know who the fuck I am. So
100%.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. And there has to be balance. And the way that I deal with people who are like, haters, I'm just like, you don't have, like, having that conversation, of what we've talked about before, when people project their shame and their embarrassment onto me, I'm just like, it's got nothing to do with me. You feel that way because you would never do it. But you don't need to tell me for 15 minutes how you could never do it. And then sit there and be like, I think it's so cool though that you do it.
Oh my God. Oh, you just triggered me because I started like around 19 too as well. And I remember, I don't know why this still bothers me, but the same bitches that literally like called me sluts, hoes, like nothing wrong with, prostitution, which is just like a really bad term to refer to full sex workers. But they used to like try to shame me so much. Like, man, and I used to be kind of low key embarrassed at first when I first started.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was really hard. And now those same, and I mean the same bitches, and I call them bitches because it's like, y'all are some foul ass bitches. Now that they see that now it's kind of becoming more normalized over the years, and, they be following me on Instagram or wherever, and they kind of see some of the like accomplishments or like achievements or like how my life looks so like a fantasy. And I put that in quotes for those that are listening, because it's like that in itself is another topic. But like they'd be like, yo, what's up? Like how can you hook me in? Like how do I become an OnlyFans model? How do I do webcam modeling? And I'm like, no, fuck y'all, because y'all really talked mad shit and degraded my whole industry, that now you want to be involved in, and you want me to give you all my tricks and trades that I had to figure out. Like, fuck no.
And that's right. Is too, and a lot of those people, and it's funny because I've had people from my past, from my high school, hit me up, and I simply like to just keep it face value, and I like to hit him with these questions. And it's funny because I was on another podcast earlier this week, and they were saying like, oh, for people who ask you, and I didn't give my answer because it was different than the other answer the other host had said. And I was like, I'm not about to put my shit on this, because she said it in a really nice way, and I'm not about to say it nicely.
No, we don't sugarcoat shit here.
It was my questions, especially to people who I see them post things about sex workers or OnlyFans or make fun of it, or I've known them to make fun of me or whatever from the past. I always say, do you have fans? First and foremost. Do you actually have numerous, and I'm not talking about 10 people from your phone who you slept with or who said, send me nudes. I'm talking about people in your DMs every fucking day, at least 20 people asking to see you naked, asking if you have an OnlyFans, because that's the only way you're going to make money. Do you have fans? And that's the first. And if they say no, I don't even go on to the next question. And if they say, I have some people, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, is there anyone in your life right now at this moment that if they found your sex tape, or they found pictures of you with your asshole spread with a butt plug in it, would they disown you? And would that create an effect on you and your life? And then they think about it, because a lot of people can't handle that. It's a lot. A lot of people are not strong enough for that shit to happen.
Not at all. And they might think like, oh, I don't care.
And that's
usually, but no.
That's the question that pretty much stops them in the track. And I say, what if your husband found out? What if your little sister found out? What if all of these people? And, and
are you prepared to maybe never have a mainstream job again? Like
to maybe not get that office job? Are you prepared to always work for yourself? Hustle, do the marketing, because OnlyFans does not provide marketing. Are you prepared
to might have slow fucking months, because it's not fast fucking money.
For some people it is. And I love that for those people. I really love that for those people, because they find a way to make it work, and that's phenomenal. And those are the people that deserve to be in this industry, because they can fucking get it. They can do it, flip it. They're hustlers. And I love that shit. So when I hear, Bad Baby, is making $1 million or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. On the same side of it, the other people who were waiting for her to turn 18, I'm like, yeah,
that's a whole nother thing.
I'm not going to address it, but what I am thinking about is for her to get that bag. I love that shit. Yes, bitch.
Yes.
Money. Flip those fucking people that are creeps, and I'm sure she knows it.
Yep.
Get that.
She knew. She was, speaking of Bad Baby, because catch me outside. How about that? I feel like I like watched her grow up. Like I don't follow her as much now, but like definitely when she was like on that one TV show and kind of got famous. And what I've learned from her, from what I perceive, because I don't know her personally, is that she just seems very like money motivated. Like the way she moves, it seems like she's very calculated. Yeah, and when I saw that shit come out, all I could do at first, I was like, I'm fucking disgusted. Like I am so like I want to throw up, not at her at all, but it was just the fact of like, wow. But then I was like, damn, bitch, like you got me thinking now. How the fuck can I sit there? Because you whipped out a fucking $1 million in 11 years in this industry. I ain't even touched a meal. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't not touched a meal, and she whipped that shit out.
And it's the build up. It's the build up of the persona that she put out there.
Yep.
And I think that's amazing. And then back to the topic, a lot of people will think that they could get it like that. And I gotta stop them.
And it's not reality.
That's not it. And I believe in karma. So if you're talking shit about the industry, I know even if you make it, you ain't really gonna make it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, at least for, my community in the sex work industry, like we don't want to even work with people who are haters. I heard you said some shit about so-and-so, or I heard you said some shit, about sex work. I'm about to tell everybody not to work with you because I don't respect
Yep.
I don't want you having the opportunity to make money off of something that you've put down. Now, if you had a change of heart and we had that conversation, or you came out and had that conversation, yeah, absolutely. We could fuck with that. But a lot of people aren't ready to have that conversation and own up to the fact that they were wrong about what sex work was.
Which, and I understand sex work, there's so many layers to it because it's like I come from like you came from mainstream. I come from more of like the amateur, because that's what they call non-mainstream sex workers, which is just basically not have been hired by a professional company.
Yeah.
For those that are listening. But I come from like the webcam background, so it was like that's like a whole nother fucking like ball game where it's like people like when I first saw the first like online like girl or whatever, I was like, that should look easy money. Like you cute, sit there, I'm gonna make it right. That shit humbled me like so quick. I was like, oh, this is an actual business. Like I gotta do marketing. I gotta fucking do promotions. I gotta be my own editor, my own agent, my own like, I'm like, damn, this is a lot of work. Like I gotta pay taxes. I'm like, this is legit a business. Like, and you do it all yourself. And it's like, yes, I'm not gonna say there's not times where like you get lucky and you're like, shit, I just made, a couple bags, like hella easy. But you're gonna be in this long term at all. Like you gotta work fucking hard. And the moment you slack, your money gonna slack. You gonna hurt. You gonna feel it.
When you get lucky and you make the bag, it doesn't get easier. That's the thing.
At all.
It really doesn't get easier. And I'll sit there and have a lot of people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, la, la, la. You get to do this. You can do that. People will give you because you're hot and that. It doesn't stop there, bro. The hustle doesn't stop. I took a hiatus. I took a couple months off of camming. I'm feeling it right now. Like I took a couple, I haven't been creating content. I'm feeling it right now. Thank God I'm blessed with another form of income. But at the same time, it's still a lot of hard work. So now I got to get back on my hustle. I got to get back in my bag. And it's when you start getting that bag, it does not become easier. Your taxes become more. You got
oh my God,
ways to write shit off to invest, and then you got to pay taxes on that. And then it's like
never ending.
It's never ending. If you're smart about it and you're in this, you're paying taxes 4 times a year and hoping that you get some of that money back. You're hoping I overpaid my taxes, man, and then I don't got to pay more.
Right.
Before April. And I could even get them done in April or before April.
Right.
Because I'm scared. I'm scared of those numbers. Some of us are our own accountants. We're our own marketing team. We are our own cameraman, dolly man, gaff taper, sound engineer. Like it's a multiple.
It's a lot.
But you're doing it in one body, and I cannot wait for the day for people, for a show to come out that actually shows what it's like to be a sex worker and live a normal life as a human being outside.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Because people think that sex workers are just like always sex. Like,
It's not.
no, we're fucking, like, we're human beings. And I love the fact that you mentioned that, because that kind of like brings me into just a little bit more about who you are.
Yeah.
Something that Alex does that really has been like inspiring me personally, and like really like kind of like kicking my ass, because I see it on her social media. But she does Spartan races, and man, I've always wanted to do one, but I was too chicken shit. But seeing like, okay, she'll just do a couple. This bitch right here, she is about to be fucking going to Dubai. I got so excited, I fucking hit my mic.
Yeah.
She's going to Dubai for the world champions. Like, she is actually in this shit.
Yeah.
But if you just looked at her social media, like her work social media, you would have no idea. People would think like, oh, she's just always in a bikini, or she's just always at the club, or like you would think that was her whole life. Yeah. But no, like, we're human, and I would love for you to kind of like, I mean, I kind of already know a little bit about it, but like, explain to people how you got involved, first of all, into like, let's backtrack a little bit.
I've never really actually told that story. A lot of people don't know why I started doing Spartan races, and it's a really personal, I'm going to talk about it, but it's a really like private reason. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's just because you're fit. No, like, I was in a really bad relationship when I lived in Hawaii. I was dating someone, and it was really abusive emotionally and mentally. And I was so fucking depressed. And I was so unhappy. And I had started drinking again. And prior to that, I was almost 4 years sober. And I was just so fucking miserable. I started seeing a therapist while I was out there, and she gave me this book called like A Purpose-Driven Life. And she was like, you need to find a purpose, because right now you're just in limbo. I wasn't doing my sex work. I was just involved in this fucking toxic gaslighting relationship. And I had completely lost myself again, like how I lost myself before I got sober. And I was like, okay, I love to work out. I'm a trainer. Like, I'm working at this fitness studio. I really am so passionate about fitness. What can I do? What can I do? And I was talking to one of my really good friends. Shout out to you, Aubrey, for getting me into this. And he was like, man, I love doing Spartan races. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, dude, it's like crazy shit. It's like fucking monkey bars, and you carry heavy sandbags, and you run up these hills. And I was like, I'm in. When's the next one? He's like, actually, there's going to be one in a couple of months here in Hawaii. And I was like, dude, I'm fucking sold. Immediately I went and bought my ticket, and I was like, what the fuck do I do now? And so I trained really hard, and I was really sad because my partner at the time wasn't there to support me. And so the night prior, my two good guy friends and my best friends, which both of them are married, but it's like three people pretty much in this triad. They hit me up. They call me. They're like, dude, I know you're about to go to sleep, but like, we're really fucked up. But like, we just bought tickets to run with you tomorrow. And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, we're going to run the race. See you in the morning. All right, dude, bye. Like, my girlfriend texted me. She's 9 months pregnant. And she was like, I'm not running the race, but I will be there to support you. I was like, cool. Fuck. Now I actually really have to do it. I can't back out. So I did. Got up, greased up with some SPF. Fucking took off at 8:30 in the morning. It took me 6 hours. 6 hours. 14.2 miles in the jungles and mountains of Hawaii.
Wait, but Can you explain why? Okay, because you, hold on now, let's not skip over. You, for your first race, you wanted to do one of the hardest.
Yes. I really said, I was like, yeah, I could do a sprint, right? The sprint is about 3 to 5 miles. And I was like, maybe I should start off with that. My friends were like, yeah, let's start off with that, super easy, whatever. And I was like, no, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it. And since I'm an addict, I've been off drugs for 11, 12, actually like 15 years, and I'm an alcoholic. There is no in between. I'm either not doing shit or I'm doing the abso-fucking-lutely most. Like there could be an in-between, but I'm not happy with the in-between. I want to fucking do it, and I want to do it hard because I want to be great. I want to be great at being a cokehead. I want to be great at being an alcoholic. I want to be great at being a fucking Spartan racer. And so I was like, I'm doing the beast. And that's why it meant so much to me when my friends called me that they were actually going to run the full 14 miles after pounding Miller Lights and eating mozzarella sticks the night prior. And, and it really was just a way for me to kind of get out of my head too. I needed to get out of my relationship. I needed to fucking focus. My purpose was to go past that finish line. My purpose was to be better than everything that was going on in my life. To be better than being fucking cheated on, was to be better than the shit that my partner was putting me through and making me feel, and to be better than the suicidal thoughts that I was having and the fucking depression and not wanting to get up and drinking. Like I needed that purpose. And the gun went off. We arooed, and I fucking took off. And it was miserable. It was wet. It was muddy. It was hot. My friends were pounding beers on the course behind me as I'm
what?
Yeah, but they're like military dudes. They're like fucking infantry, like ranger, like special forces, like doing that shit. Yeah, they're tough as
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they were having a great time. And it wasn't like, oh, a Bud Light. No. This motherfucker was pounding Guinness. Who pounds and 89-degree weather while running a race? Like, it was just so crazy, but it was insane. Like, holy shit, like, these guys are fucking hungover, and I'm just trying to survive. So 6 hours later, I passed the finish line, and that was it. I was hooked. And I made it my point because it gave me such, like, a feeling of just, I'm going to cry. I look at my trophies and the shit that I've accomplished, and I've done a lot that people wish that they could do. Like, there's people out there with no legs, or they lost, their arm and they can't even climb a rope. Or there's people, like I was, like in abusive relationships, like they feel like they can't get out, or their partner doesn't even let them go to the gym. And it was just such a moment that I was like, holy fuck, I did something that made me feel just really accomplished. I'm proud of you that I never got from the people closest to me. Like, I gave that to myself. And I continue to give that to myself because I never want to feel the way I did in that relationship. I never want to hate myself as much as I did in those relationships prior. And I never want anyone to be able to take shit away from me again. So I pour my heart into these races, and I run them with the intention of always being great, of always being amazing, and always pushing my boundary to take myself outside of the comfort zone of being like, yeah, well, I could just fuck off today. It's fine. No, like I never want to be in that comfort zone. I always want to be uncomfortable. And these races give me that opportunity to fucking sit there and be like, bro, my knee hurts. I'm on mile 7. I still have 7.5 miles to go. I'm so drained. I'm just so like mentally overwhelmed. But I'm going to fucking do it. I need to fucking do it. I need to get through it because there's people out there who don't have this opportunity. So I'm running for them. I'm running for myself. And it doesn't matter where I place as long as I finish. That's it. And I found that. And with this past race getting to Worlds, I am just like I'm beyond elated. I worked really fucking hard to get here, and I know in my heart I'm going to place top 5, and I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. I'm going to fucking absolutely crush it because I'm great. I'm amazing. And I do what a lot of people don't do, can't do, and would never even think about. Not to be like an egotistical asshole.
No, that's not being ego at all. Like, that's the fucking facts. Like, I got emotional just like listening to you because it's like, you're right. There's a lot of people out there in the world that physically, literally by the definition of what the word literally means, cannot do something.
Yeah.
And when you are able-bodied to do something and then it's like, oh, I want to do this, but then you have a million excuses, i.e. speaking about myself, then it's like, well, what about those that literally cannot? And you're wasting like this blessing that you have.
Wasting the blessing of being able-bodied. And I actually, the facility that I train in right now, like, it sucks because I wish like I could shout them out as more on my...
But I'll be doxing yourself.
Without
right?
doxing myself.
Yeah.
But I am so fucking inspired every time I walk into that gym. There are paraplegics walking with canes assisted. There's cranes lifting them up so they can do body squats on a box. I am so inspired. There's people with fucking injuries. There's fighters in there who tore their ACL and come back and they're on the road to recovery. Like, I am consistently inspired by everyone in that gym, even the trainers and their stories and the therapists and everything. It's just such like, I'm in the right place. It was divine timing. And I see it every day. I see these fucking people struggling to walk. And these were normal people. And they just got hit by a car. And their main goal is to just be able to walk again. And I'm over here complaining, but this is my thought process. And I'm complaining about a breakup. Or I'm complaining because I don't have the time today. And I'm pretty much like, I feel like I'm slapping everybody in the face that, you know, comes in there to be better.